Launching on February the 25th, 2022, the Steam Deck introduced Valve to the handheld gaming world. Coming in 3 variants, these devices are intended to provide a portable option for PC gamers, one that does not come at a high cost of performance. The product has received a mostly positive reception, and the Steam Deck is steadily becoming easier to acquire. Since the hardware's release, Valve has been gradually going through Steam's massive library to verify that the game is compatible with the Steam Deck. Any title that received the company's seal of approval has passed all checks and should be a good experience on the portable system. Using Deck Verified as the criteria, let's look at some of the best games for Steam Deck. Number 1. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is likely to be one of the top games of 2023, at least in terms of popularity. The Harry Potter title takes place roughly a century prior to the events of the books and movies, allowing players to follow the unique story set within the Wizarding World. Avalanche's project brings to life a lavish and detailed open world. The game shines brightly as it simply encourages players to exist within the immersive environments. These types of games seem destined to remain on home consoles and computers, but thanks to Valve's portable system, that's now a thing of the past. Number 2. Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush came out of literally nowhere. The game was announced and released on the same day, and it is now available on the Xbox Game Pass. As an added bonus, the hack and slash title is already Steam Deck verified despite its quick release. Boasting striking visual design and an absolute belter of a soundtrack, Hi-Fi Rush is a feast for the senses. The game rewards players who sync their movement with the beat, and this goes beyond providing a power boost in combat. Even explosive actions benefit from moving with the beat. Number 3. Persona 5 Royale. Once upon a time, a PlayStation was necessary to experience a mainline Persona entry, but that is no longer the case thanks to the Steam Deck. Offering more than 100 hours of content, this beloved JRPG can keep someone entertained for potentially months. The story revolves around the Phantom Thieves, a group of teenagers who seek to inspire social change by invading a corrupt individual's palace. Persona 5 Royale is divided into 2 sections, Social Sim and Dungeon Crawl. The later features relatively traditional turn-based combat, albeit one elevated through the stylish presentation and an addictive monster collection style. Outside of palaces, players can hang out with their friends, grab a bite to eat, and take on people trying to ruin the world. Number 4. Cuphead. On June the 30th, 2022, Cuphead released its long-awaited The Delicious Last Course expansion, making it the ideal time to jump into the hard-as-nails platformer. Inspired by the style of classic cartoons, Cuphead has gorgeous visuals, tight controls, and many brilliantly designed bosses that yearn to make the players suffer. Some of the best games for Steam Deck are ones that cater to shorter playstations, and Cuphead is one such title. Now, while the levels themselves are not extremely long, their high degree of difficulty do certain make them require a greater commitment. Also, please try to resist the urge to fling the Steam Deck out of the window out of the sheer frustration while playing it. Number 5. Neon White. A pleasant surprise is Neon White, while it's specifically designed for speedrunning. The game is to repeat stages in a search for progressively quicker completion times. While that might seem like a niche structure, the game's strong fundamentals give it a wider appeal. Neon White builds its platforming and combat on a card-based system that focuses the player to think on their feet, and executing a perfect run after memorising each stage's layout is incredibly satisfying. As stages do not last more than a few minutes, this is the perfect Steam Deck game for a short bus ride or a quick break. Admittedly, Neon White's addictive nature makes it difficult to put down once someone's found their rhythm, which might lead you to miss some of those meetings. Number 6. Elden Ring. Released alongside the Steam Deck in February 2022, Elden Ring has somewhat attested the portable system's potential. Luckily for everyone, the console held up incredibly well. Elden Ring is arguably the best game of 2022, so there is a high chance that most Steam Deck owners have already played this incredible title. What awaits them is an immersive experience that delivers decent performance and visuals on the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was made for playing Elden Ring on a fight of reality, and something that hardly seemed possible prior to the device's launch. Number 7. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Valve has been working with CD Projekt Red to ensure The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Cyberpunk 2077 were fully optimised for the Steam Deck. This was to ensure that owners can take these ambitious RPGs on the go and have a blast in the process. The Witcher 3 set the benchmark for gaming in general, particularly when it comes to storytelling and side content. set in a beautifully crafted world that builds upon the lore of previous franchise releases while still delivering an accessible package for newcomers. The Witcher 3 is gripping, deep and addictive. The combat system does take a bit getting used to, but things do start to come together once the player grows familiar with Geralt's signs and tools. Number 8. Euro Truck Simulator 2. Celebrating more than a decade on the market, Euro Truck Simulator 2 has expanded leaps and bounds since its debut. SCS Software's driving sim requires players to grow a hauling empire, a journey that comes with rather humble beginnings. After spending a couple of hours working for established businesses, drivers can venture out on their own and start their own business. This decision opens up a host of management options for the game, widening your potential. Euro Truck Simulator 2 is an oddly cathartic experience. When out on the open road, the rest of the real world tends to disappear into the background. The game is at its best with the gaming wheel and a large monitor, but the Steam Deck is another option. Number 9. God of War. A few years ago, it would have seemed ludicrous to imagine that Sony's newest God of War would be available on a portable system. God of War changes things up significantly from previous entries in the series. The game drops Kratos and his son Atreus in Nordic mythology, and let's just say the deity is not particularly enamoured by the Spartans' arrival. The first entry in the new saga, this game finds Kratos going on a pilgrimage to pay respect to his deceased wife, while trying to foster a stronger bond with his son. Number 10. Hades. Roguelike games are an acquired taste, but Hades is one of the more welcoming options out there for people who do not typically love this subgenre. The basic gameplay loop is still there. Players run through the same stage repeatedly. However, in this game, death does not result in a full reset. In fact, the story develops naturally with each defeat, so there is a constant sense of progression. Narratively, Hades follows Zagreus, the son of the titular god, as he attempts to leave the underworld for Olympus. The journey is brutal and, more importantly, memorable. Number 11. Celeste. Hard as nails 2D indie platformers are not in short supply, so these games can still start to blend together. However, Celeste will not be mistaken for any of its peers. A rare example of a story-driven entry in the genre, the 2018 title follows Madeline as she climbs a mountain that echoes her personal struggles. Consequently, the punishing gameplay complements the narrative being told, reflecting the protagonist's insecurities and trauma. Putting the story to one side, Celeste's gameplay still holds up. The controls are tight, the levels are well designed, and the game is a popular fixture in the speedrunning community. Number 12. Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors has taken the world by storm since its launch. Split into stages, players lead a character through hell as they power up along the way. On the surface, there is nothing about this setup that seems particularly unique. However, the execution is always key in these instances. Vampire Survivors is simply fun to play with the diverse character and weapon builds, providing more than enough depth to ensure that things remain interesting for multiple playthroughs. Number 13. Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire combines an array of genres to create a package which is almost completely unique to Steam. The roguelike sets players on randomly generated paths as they work their way through the Spire's levels, taking on enemies and bosses along the way. Before a run, players pick from a range of classes that each come with unique starter decks. As cards contained within are used during battles to perform various actions. After each win, players earn new cards that can be randomly drawn in future encounters, meaning there is a constant sense of progression. Slay the Spire is addictive, well polished, and a charming gaming experience. Number 14. Stray. In recent years, AA games have become rather uncommon. However, every so often a title comes out that fits snugly into that category. Stray is an adventure sci-fi game about a mostly standard cat that finds itself in a city full of robots. Looking to make its way back home, the adorable feline sets out on a charming journey that takes it to the sewers, bars and neon-lit streets. The furball will need to complete puzzles, cozy up to a few machines, jump around obstacles and fight off a couple of enemies in order to complete its journey. For the most part, the game handles these elements well. Lasting roughly 5 hours, Stray does not overstay its welcome and makes the most of every second of its runtime, making it a great pick for your Steam Deck. Number 15. Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is a spine-chilling ghost game that knows how to creep under the player's skin. The premise is simple. A team of up to 4 people will enter a haunted location to discover the type of ghosts behind the frights. This is done by using a handful of tools, and while the early levels are quite forgiving, Phasmophobia ramps up the tension and scares in subtle but effective ways. After a while, every unidentified sound or brief movement would cause panic to spread through the group as they prepare themselves to face off against the entity that rests within these nightmarish walls. So, if you love to be terrified while playing games, this is definitely one for you. And that's it, looking at 15 of the best games that you can currently play on the Steam Deck. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, of course subscribe if you're new to the channel, from my Twitter and Instagram links down below as always, and of course we are partnered with TubeBuddy. First link in the description for all your YouTube needs, tag titles, thumbnails, all that good stuff. If that's something you need help with, like I did myself, head down to the first link in the description and add it to your browser, and trust me, you wonder how you have gone on without it. And of course we're partnered the channel, so if you want to head down below and hit that join button to get a huge range of benefits and support the channel myself, would be greatly appreciated. But if not, you have to subscribe and watch the next video. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I've been Celeste, so see you again very soon.